I find in my work as a psychologist that people sometimes can be pretty critical. And there are a lot of different things that people could say about you that could potentially be negative. Not fair. They may not be accurate, but they can be negative. People can be really critical of others and sometimes say things to them that are really hurtful. And it's really unfortunate when people say hurtful things to others and they're not even true. So they end up upsetting the other person and they don't even have any real justification or basis, the comments that are made. They're just hurtful and inaccurate. In relationships, people tend to know each other even better, especially romantic relationships, because in romantic relationships, people often get in so many different types of situations with each other, see each other so frequently. So they really know each other, their strengths and their weaknesses. Well, in a romantic relationship, sometimes some of the things that a person can say to you can be hurtful. They can be hurtful. They can be critical. Sometimes someone could even possibly say things that are mean to you. Well, one thing I have found in my clinical work that is especially hurtful when you hear it is if someone calls you needy, if someone makes you feel like you're being needy. All right. Now, here's an important distinction that I want you to think about. Sometimes when a person in a relationship with you could call you needy, it's actually not true and it's not fair. Maybe you are simply asserting boundaries and asking for certain needs to be met, and the other person can't meet them, doesn't want to meet them, and unfairly they react and they say to you, "Oh, you're just so needy." They make you feel like something's wrong with you. Another way to put that is they gaslight you, even though I don't love that word because I think it's getting so overused in the culture. But basically, someone can make you feel needy when you're not, when you're not. And that's really important to remember. So that is one case. The other case, though, is when someone may call you needy or say that you're being needy, and actually, deep down, you agree. Deep down, you feel too that yes, sometimes you do get needy. Maybe even you're in a phase right now where you are feeling needy and acting needy. So let's just get into it. Needy. I don't know about you, but most people will find some really negative associations to that word. It doesn't feel like a positive thing. Sometimes, if someone calls you needy, you might feel like it's to say that something is wrong with you. Why are you this way? Why aren't you different? You shouldn't be needy. This is the way sometimes you may hear it, or some of the negative thoughts that you may think to yourself when someone calls you needy. There may even be times when you can recognize some of your own behavior and you think to yourself, actually, I know I'm being needy right now. Why am I being needy? All right. So here's what's important to understand. If a person feels needy, if a person engages in needy behavior, they are really acting from a place of anxiety. They feel deep anxiety and they are trying to reach out to someone, trying to keep this connection to a person so that they don't have to feel that anxiety anymore. The problem is when a person gets needy, it can make the other person feel uncomfortable, feel claustrophobic. And maybe the other person is thinking, well, you know what? I want to be with someone who likes to be with me and wants to be with me, but doesn't need it, isn't too needy. And that can be understandable. Here's what's really important to think about. If you do find that you are sometimes needy, that this is a trait that you have to think about why that might be. Look at different parts of your life and ask yourself how fulfilled you feel in different parts of your life. Essentially, how much do you have going on in your life that is nourishing to you, that fulfills you, that gives you a sense of purpose? When you think about your identity, where do you get your identity from? Do you get your identity from having a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a husband or wife? Is that where you get your identity? Or do you get your identity from different parts of your life, things you do, goals you're setting, goals you're accomplishing? And at the same time, you are in a relationship. So it's really important to look at, are you over focusing on getting too many needs met by a relationship? Or do you have a really healthy balance? Here is, as a clinical psychologist, what I wish for everyone, that yes, it is totally normal and perfectly understandable for you to want to have a relationship, but as well, you continue to develop parts of yourself and parts of your life so that you rely on a whole group of things to make you feel whole and full rather than over depending on one magic person to make you feel that way. An example would be, what kind of clubs or organizations are you a part of? Do you volunteer anywhere? Do you have a volunteering life? When you think about the communities in your life, what communities do you feel a part of? Some people may feel a part of a church community. Some people may feel a part of a social community. Some people may belong to a sports organization. Some people may belong to a horticulture or animal related organization. These are the different communities that people can be a part of. So if you have found that you might be feeling a little bit too needy, if in fact you're afraid that actually you are needy, you are overly needy, look at parts of your life and say, let me develop other parts of my life. Let me set some goals. Could be a health goal, a mental health goal, joining a new organization. Let me set some goals. Let me even try to take on a new hobby or two, maybe a dance class. It could be any number of things. The list is endless. But looking to other parts of your life to give you that sense of balance and feeling full so you don't have to rely too much on any one person. And just maybe, if you can develop more parts of your life, you will not hear that you are needy again. I sure hope this video has been helpful. I hope that you got something that maybe you can take with you, maybe can be helpful, a little tip. You can also see if there's any other videos here on my YouTube channel that you find helpful. Hopefully, there's something else that can also provide you a sense of comfort and support. Also, you can check out my podcast where I go deeper on some of these issues and also interview a lot of different people, some everyday folks, some experts on the human behavior topics that matter most to you. Why? So that we can all keep gaining insight into ourselves and improving our lives. That's Insight with Dr. Seth. Have a good one, everybody.